You have $650 million and nobody knows. Not your neighbors, not your friends, not the barista who has been making your coffee every morning for years, not the guy who waves at you when you pull into the gas station, not even the people who think they know you best. You are not hiding. You are simply living a life that gives nobody a reason to look twice. While everyone else is busy trying to appear wealthy, you quietly became wealthy. And the strangest part? The moment it happened wasn't memorable at all. No celebration, no champagne, no social media post, no luxury vacation. Just a routine email arriving on an ordinary morning. Quarterly portfolio summary, nothing more. You happen to be standing in a hardware store comparing plumbing fittings when you open it. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. A shopping cart squeaks somewhere behind you. A man in work boots is comparing prices 2 aisles away. Nobody notices anything. Nobody knows a single number on the screen just changed your life forever. But the truth is, your life didn't change in that moment. It changed years earlier. Back when the number was small, back when nobody cared, back when success looked like a used vending machine sitting in the corner of a hospital break room. It wasn't a brilliant business idea. It wasn't a startup. It wasn't a revolutionary invention. It was simply an observation. One afternoon, you noticed a vending machine sitting empty. The machine beside it was broken. People walked up, pressed buttons, got frustrated, then walked away. Most people forgot about it immediately. You didn't. You asked a different question. Who owns this thing? That question followed you home. Later that night, you started researching. One search became another, then another. Eventually, you found the answer. A local operator, nothing special, just a small business owner running machines across a handful of locations. The numbers weren't impressive. Some machines earned $50 a month. Some earned $100. A few earned more. Most people would have lost interest immediately. You became fascinated, not by the amount, by the concept. The machine earned money whether the owner showed up or not, whether he was sleeping, whether he was eating dinner, whether he was on vacation. The machine continued working. That idea changed everything. Months later, you bought your first machine. Used, scratched, far from perfect. You placed it inside a small dental office. The first month, you earned $190. $190. That was it. Your coworkers earned more working overtime. Your friends spent more than that on a weekend trip. Nobody congratulated you. Nobody even knew. But sitting alone one evening looking at that number, you realized something important. The money didn't matter. The proof did. The system worked. That was all you needed to know.
So you bought another machine, then another, then another. Slowly, your way of looking at the world began changing. You stopped seeing businesses as a customer. You started seeing them as an owner. Every laundromat became a question. Every parking lot became a question. Every storage facility became a question. Every boring building became a question. Who owns it? How does it make money? How long has it been producing cash? Most people spend their lives looking at products. You became obsessed with ownership. Years passed, the machines multiplied, the income grew, and your attention shifted toward larger opportunities. One day you began studying laundromats, not because they were exciting, because they were boring. And boring businesses are often the best businesses. People need clean clothes during good economies. People need clean clothes during bad economies. That demand never disappears. You purchased your first laundromat in a working-class neighborhood. The equipment was old. The books were messy. The previous owner kept records in notebooks and filing cabinets. But beneath the chaos was something valuable: predictable cash flow. The first year exceeded your expectations. Instead of spending the profits, you reinvested them. That became your habit. Not celebrating, reinvesting. Not upgrading your lifestyle, upgrading your assets. Most people increase spending when income rises. You increased ownership. That single difference changed the direction of your life. Over time, the portfolio expanded. A few laundromats, a couple of parking lots, several billboard locations, a commercial cleaning company purchased from a retiring owner. Nothing glamorous, nothing exciting, nothing anyone would brag about at a party. Yet every piece served a basic human need. People need parking. People need clean clothes. Businesses need cleaning. Advertisers need visibility. Simple needs, predictable demand, reliable cash flow. One afternoon, your accountant reviewed everything you owned. She had spent decades working with business owners. Very little impressed her. After studying the folder, she looked up and laughed. "This might be the most boring portfolio I've ever seen." You smiled, because that was exactly the goal. Boring, predictable, durable. The world rewards attention, but wealth often rewards patience. Your accountant asked why you never pursued something more exciting: technology, startups, speculative investments, something with bigger upside. You told her you already had what you wanted: stability, predictability, control. She nodded, but you could tell she didn't fully understand. Most people don't, because the world celebrates dramatic success stories: the overnight millionaire, the startup startup founder, the celebrity entrepreneur. Nobody makes documentaries about parking lots. Nobody writes books about laundromats. Nobody dreams of owning a cleaning company. And that's precisely why opportunities remain there. Because attention chases excitement. Money often hides inside boredom. At a networking event one evening, you meet a man who appears wealthy. Designer clothes, luxury watch, expensive car. Every sentence sounds like a sales pitch. Every story sounds rehearsed. When he asks what you do, you tell him the truth. You own a few small businesses, mostly laundromats. He glances at your old SUV parked outside. He looks at your inexpensive clothes. He performs the calculation in his head, then immediately loses interest, exactly as expected. People underestimate what they don't understand, and being underestimated can be surprisingly useful. The less attention you attract, the more freedom you keep. People think low-profile wealth is about humility. Sometimes it is, but often it's strategy. The ordinary life becomes armor. It protects your time, your relationships, your privacy, your peace of mind. Then one afternoon, your best friend calls. He's building a food business. The opportunity is real. The numbers look promising, but he needs capital, a lot of capital. You could send the money instantly. The amount wouldn't change your life at all, but you don't, because experience has taught you something difficult. Money cannot solve structural problems. It only magnifies them. Instead of writing a check, you spend weekends helping him understand the business. You review expenses. You examine contracts. You challenge assumptions. You ask questions nobody else is asking. Weeks later, he restructures the plan, finds alternative financing, negotiates better agreements, and eventually succeeds on his own. When he calls with the good news, his voice shakes with emotion. He thanks you repeatedly. You never mention that you could have written the check immediately, because the lesson mattered more than the money, and because some victories must belong entirely to the person who earns them. Years continue passing. The portfolio keeps growing quietly, almost invisibly. Then comes the email. An ordinary morning, an ordinary hardware store, an ordinary day. You open the report, read the number once, then again. $650 million. You stare at the screen. A forklift beeps somewhere behind you. A customer walks past. Nobody notices. Nobody cares. The world continues exactly as before. And that's when you understand something. You always imagined wealth would feel different. You thought there would be a moment, a transformation, a line dividing before and after. There isn't. The feeling is exactly the same as when you earned your first $190. The same quiet satisfaction, the same calm certainty, because the number was never the source of the feeling. The structure was. The machine was. The system was. The proof that years of ordinary decisions had quietly compounded into something extraordinary. You reply to the email. 3 simple words. Looks good. Thanks. Then you buy the plumbing supplies, walk to your car, start the engine, and drive home. The road is the same. The vehicle is the same. The crack in the bumper is still there. Nothing on the outside has changed. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. Real wealth rarely arrives wearing a costume. It rarely announces itself. It doesn't need to, because the people performing wealth are usually focused on being seen. The people building wealth are usually focused on building, and those are rarely the same people. The question isn't how much money you have. The question is what you're building, and whether it will still be working long after nobody is watching.